This conference will now be recorded.
Hello there. Today we're going to read a book called Jimmy Smith and the Corn. Take a look at Jimmy Smith. Do you see the big stalks of corn? What do you see in the top corner? It looks like a barn. And over on the other side, maybe it's his house within all the trees. Let's find out about Jimmy Smith. In the beginning of the book, it shows Jimmy Smith feeding the chickens. See, he's pulling little seeds or maybe corn out of his pail and throwing it on the ground, and the hen, the mama, and the chickens are eating it. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith lived on a farm with his mother. Sort of the picture we saw in the beginning. Each day, Jimmy Smith would help his mama around the farm. You know, like cleaning up, feeding the animals, picking vegetables. Jimmy Smith didn't much mind cleaning and feeding, but he sure did hate picking corn and potatoes, because that's what they had most of. And it would get Jimmy Smith's goat to have to pick those corn and potatoes. Do you know what it means to get somebody's goat? It doesn't really mean like a billy goat, the animal. To get your goat means it bugs you. It gets on your nerves. It kind of makes you mad. That's what it means when we say it gets your goat. One day, Jimmy Smith's mama came outside and said, "Jimmy Smith, I need you to go pick some corn and potatoes." Jimmy Smith sighed a big sigh and grunted, "Ah." "Go on now," his mama said, "and hurry back. There's a big storm coming our way, and it's going to get ugly from the sound and looks of it." So here's Jimmy Smith, and he grunted and he sighed. Do we do those things when we're happy? No, we usually grunt and sigh when we're a little upset. But can you see in the sky? Look at those dark clouds. You better hurry up, because you know when you see those dark clouds in the sky, a storm's coming. Jimmy Smith grabbed a big basket and started to walk into the cornfields. As he walked, he turned around and looked back at the house. Why, he could barely see it through all the corn. Then a smug grin fell over Jimmy Smith's face. If he could hardly see the house, then maybe Mama couldn't see him either. So he sat down, he sat the basket down, and then he sat himself down. "I'll just sit here a short while," he said, "and I'm going to look up into the sky. Oh, that storm doesn't look so big. I'll just rest a spell." And Jimmy Smith closed his eyes. Do you know what it said? He had a smug grin. Do you know what a smug grin means? It means it's sort of that you're being sneaky. A smug grin means that you're thinking about something else and you're kind of wondering if you should be doing something. So it's not like a grin that you're happy. A smug grin is something different. Well, it wasn't long before Jimmy Smith fell asleep, and by now the storm had turned ugly, just like Mama said it would. "Jimmy Smith, Jimmy Smith," Mama called. "Jimmy Smith, where are you?" There was no answer. "Oh, my Lord," said Jimmy Smith's mama, "where is that child?" And she continued to call for Jimmy Smith. Here's Mama, and she's at the house. Sorry, put it over here. And you see she's saying, "Jimmy Smith, Jimmy Smith." She's getting nervous. She's getting worried because he's not answering. But remember what happened with Jimmy Smith? He went to sleep, right? He's sleeping out besides the corn. That old storm started to get really nasty and shake things up. It was tossing stuff to and fro. Jimmy Smith's mama knew she had to get down into the cellar quick. While she stood there holding the cellar door up, she called out one more time, "Jimmy Smith!" There was still no answer. "Dear Lord," said Jimmy Smith's mama, I pray that you keep my son close to the ground. And with that, the wind pushed the cellar door shut with a loud bang. Do you know what a cellar is? That's kind of a word that we don't use as much anymore, but it means a basement. So in your house, if you go down the stairs and you're sort of under the ground, that's a basement. And in the days a long time ago, or in Kansas and some of the places where they have big storms, they have a cellar that goes under their house. Can you see the doors there? You might have noticed this. They have it at Conrad's. We used to go there when we were little in the summer, but there's green doors that go down into a cellar by the lodge. So I'll show you next time we go to Conrad's what the cellar looks like. Well, right about when Jimmy Smith woke up and he could hear the wind roaring, he could see things flying through the air. He saw a whole tree fly by and a cow. And then he saw the red tractor fly by. So Jimmy Smith is seeing a tornado. Have you ever heard of a tornado? It's when the wind really starts whipping up and goes in a big circle, and it starts picking up really heavy things and throwing them around. Jimmy Smith wondered about Mama. I better get up, he thought. But when he tried, he couldn't move. He tried again and again. And just when he was starting to get nervous, a tall cornstalk leaned over and said, "Don't struggle, Jimmy Smith. We're here to help." "What do you mean, help?" said Jimmy Smith with a little bit of a quiver in his voice. He was nervous. So you can see here the corn is leaning over and it's telling Jimmy, "Stay down. Don't try to get up when it's this windy. We're going to help you." "Well," said Mr. Corn, "your mother said a prayer that you would be safe, and God is using the corn to help." Then Jimmy Smith looked about himself and saw that the corn had wrapped itself around Jimmy's arms and his legs, and the potatoes, well, they wrapped him around his belly. So can you see here the corn is protecting Jimmy? It's putting it all around him and kind of holding him steady when all the winds are blowing. "Wow," said Jimmy Smith, "you sure are strong, Mr. Corn." "Not as strong as I used to be." "What do you mean?" said Jimmy Smith. "Well," said Mr. Corn, "sometimes my stalks get so full of corn that it's hard to stand up straight. Oh, if only I could get some of this corn off me, I'd really be strong then." "Well, I could help you do that," said Jimmy Smith. "Yes, I could come and pull the corn off so it wouldn't be so heavy for you." So you can see here he's talking to the corn, and he's actually saying here, "Mr. Corn, if I pick the corn off you, then you'll be stronger and we can both help each other." Before Jimmy Smith knew it, the storm had blown away, and he heard Mama calling, "Jimmy Smith, Jimmy Smith, where are you?" "Here I am, Mama, over here by the corn." When Jimmy Smith's mother saw him, she screamed, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you for keeping my son safe." And then she grabbed him and squeezed him till she thought he would pop. "But Mama," Jimmy Smith said, "it was the corn." "What are you talking about, Jimmy Smith?" said his mother. And before he could answer, she grabbed him and held him close again. As Jimmy Smith held on to his mama, he looked up at Mr. Corn and winked an eye because Mr. Corn had helped. But we know it was really the Lord answering the prayer from Mama to keep him safe. Well, that's it for now. That's the end of this story for now. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, Jimmy Smith and the corn was our story today. I hope you like the story. I miss you so much, and I look forward to seeing you really soon. Love you.